Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to be talking about lesson 10.2 and 10.3 in your book. This is a lesson on the area of a triangles. So today our statement or our I can statement is that I can find the area of triangles. All right, there's one vocabulary word over here I want us to take a look at. This is the word congruent. Congruent figures are the same shape and size. So as I'm talking today, I'm going to be using that word congruent because as I teach you about what a triangle is and why we do what we do to find its area, I'm going to be using the word congruent, which means the same. Okay? So I want to take a look at this shape right here that I'm pointing to right now with the pointer. This is a parallelogram, which we just figured out how to find the area for by finding the base times the height. So this particular parallelogram, if you notice it, if I cut it across in the dotted line here on the diagonal, it becomes two triangles, and they are two congruent triangles. If you take this piece and flip it over, it'll fit exactly right on top of the other triangle, and they are congruent. So any shape that's a rectangle or a parallelogram or a rhombus or square, if you cut it in half, you have a triangle. So let's talk about this. Let's take a look here at number one. If I were to find the area of this parallelogram, okay, all right, I'm going to count my spaces down here. Remember, to find the area of a parallelogram, its area is equal to base times the height. So the base in this case is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 squares. So my base is 9. When I'm doing a parallelogram, we have to go straight up and down, remember. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 9 times 4, the same example we had from lesson 1. So this gives this parallelogram an area of 36 units squared. Okay, now here's the thing. If I'm going to do a triangle, though, the triangle is really only half of this parallelogram. It's not the whole thing. So if I want to find out what the area of only half is, what if I take that 36 and I cut it in half by dividing it by 2? I'm not going to take the time to do the math. I'm just going to show you that it's 18. And I bet if you count up those squares in here, you'll end up with 18 units. So that's how we come up with a formula for finding the area of a triangle. The area of the triangle is area equals 1/2 times the base times the height. That is the area for finding a triangle. So let's try this out. Look at number 2 with me here. All right, if I find the area of the whole rectangle here, I would have 8 times 10, which equals 80, correct? Okay, but I don't want to find the area of the whole rectangle. I'm going to take that rectangle piece away. So to do that, I have to cut this in half. So if I take 80 times 1/2, okay, that's 80 over 1, it's going to end up being 40. Okay, so to find the area of a triangle, I find the area of the whole rectangle and take away half. So here I have 20 times 18. Okay, so 20 times 18 is going to be 0, 2, that's 360. Again, I'm not going to have room down there, guys. Then if I cut that in half, okay, I got to cut it in half for just the half that this is, and that ends up being 180. Okay, and that's feet squared. All right, are you kind of catching this? Are you catching what we're doing? So what I'm going to do on this next page is I'm going to use the algorithm. This is an algorithm, which tells me the how-to. It's a formula or a set rule. Everything in geometry is a set rule. Every shape has its own formula. So up here in the corner, let's start first of all. Up here in the corner, we have the area of a triangle. Okay, here is your formula right here. Area equals the base times the height times 1/2. Now, there's another version of it down here is what we really truly use, okay? We use area equals base times height, and then just divide it by 2. It's the same thing as taking it times a half, and I'm not going to take the time to show you that today. I'll show you that in class. All right, so let's take a look at number 1 right here. Okay, number 1, I'm going to use my formula for number 1. So I'm going to take 8 times 14, that's base times height. That's 112. Now, you either take it times a half, or you've got to take 112 and you're going to divide it by 2. And when you do that, you're going to end up with 56. So that is 56 centimeters squared. That little squared right there, oops. That little squared right there is really important. Okay, see that? Okay. All right, let's do number 2. All right, I've got 22. No, I'm going to skip number 2. I want to do that one later. I forgot. All right, let's do number 4. I'm going to skip number 3. Let's just do number 4. So number 4, we've got a height of 4, and we have a base of 5.5. So I'm going to put 5.5 on the top, and I'm going to take that times 4. That gives me 220, but I have to move my decimal, which is 22. Now, because it is a triangle, no matter if it's a scalene or an isosceles or a right triangle, it doesn't matter what kind that it is. You still have to have that perpendicular line, which is where we get the 22. But then we're going to have to divide 22 in half. This is 22 over 2. So we're going to divide that in half, and our answer is 11, and it's millimeters squared. Okay? All right, are you kind of getting a feel for this? All right, I want to do one more problem with you. So I'm going to erase this space right here. I want to do problem number 2. Number 2 is a little bit tougher because you're given the area. The area is 132. So the answer is 132 is equal to, okay, 22 times the height divided by 2. Okay? Now we're going to do some algebra. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take 132 and we're going to times it by 2. The reason we're doing that is because I need to get rid of this. This is a divide line here. I'm dividing. So I'm going to divide by 2. But the opposite of divide in algebra is to times. So I'm going to times this by 2. I get 264. Okay? Equals 22H. Okay? You understand what I'm doing? Then what I need to do is I'm going to take 264 and I'm going to divide that by 22. I'm going to divide again because this time this is multiply. So I'm going to divide, and I'm going to divide by 22, and then H is going to equal 12. Okay, and then it's just 12 inches, not squared, because I'm figuring out what this piece or this side is. So it's a little bit different. All right, I don't have much time left here, so I'm going to go ahead and quit for today. We found the area of a triangle. We used the algorithms. There's 2 versions for triangles, and with that particular algorithm, we can find the area of a triangle. All right, boys and girls, happy math.